Hi there, thank you for choosing one of our Southern Cross caravans. What we'll be doing here is a handover video for the 16-foot Sandfire, as well as this will be applicable to the 18-foot Warburton. So the most important part is hooking up correctly so you don't have any issues when you actually decide to take off. We will get you to reverse up here to the tow ball to line up here with the center point, and then we can lower this down, tilting it slightly so then it goes straight over the tow ball like this. As you can see, it's going to go down and wait until this is actually touching on the tongue, like so. So what we'll do now is we can lift up the tab here for the rotator cap to flip over into the lock position. Lift that here and it should flick over. You've got the lock position on the label and the tab on the other side here, so green is good to go. So the next important step in the procedure is to take your handbrake off just by pulling back, pull the trigger and leave it down. So the next step in the process after you've done the tow ball, the handbrake, is the most important one at the end, is your safety chains. So make sure you always cross them over. So now we'll attach the second chain in the crossed over position. Now the importance of this in crossing them over is that you've got a little cradle here. Should you forget to lock your hitch on and it bounces off, your hitch will actually be captured by this and cradle the hitch for safety. Next up, we need to attach the breakaway cable to the car itself, not on the shackle. We clip that on. Now the importance of the breakaway cable is that if you have a hitch failure and a chain failure, it will actually pull out a pin and lock the brakes on. Next up, we've got two cables to connect. Firstly is the Anderson plug and the second is the trailer plug. Now we will match the Caravan to your car, which can be either the small round or the 7-pin flat. So with the Anderson plug, we'll plug this into here, like so. What this does is it also gives you another way to charge while you're driving through the DC-DC controller. And then your trailer plug, which does all your lights, indicators, tail lights. We plug that in, push it in, and then we can test. So the last part we do here is lift up your jockey wheel. We've got two ways of adjusting the height on this. Is you've got the winder and you've also got the pin on the side here, which allows you to lift the whole shaft up. So I'm going to lift this shaft up on one notch, like so, by pulling this pin. Make sure that's locked in. I can then pull this other blue lever here, as you can see, and rotate and lock it in. I'm going to hold the jockey wheel up like this, and then we can wind that in, like so. That locks the jockey wheel in position. You can fold that down and take your handle off. So there's two more items here on the front of the drawbar. Just want to point out is that you've got an external tap. And the important thing here is also got another Anderson plug here on top. So what that does is that feeds directly to your batteries. You can plug an additional solar panel into these, but you must have a solar controller that is lithium compatible. So we're coming around here to the driver's side toolbox. We've got a drawer on top here for your tools and bits and pieces. We've got the winder on the back wall there for your stabilizers. The black shower tent here for the outdoor shower, and the grey bag, which is for your orange and black ladder, which is it here, folded out and extended. Right next door here, we have your battery compartment. So depending on your configuration of batteries, they'll be in here. And above it here, you've got 12-volt outlets, which you can connect up your Starlink to. Moving right along from our battery compartment, we've got your outdoor shower. So I'm using the key here that's listed in the handover pack. And here you've got your hot and cold running water. You can pull this out and have a rinse off with after you've been to the beach. And then next door to that, you've got your instantaneous gas hot water system that if you want to turn it off, there's an on-off switch here as well. So if you're putting it in storage for long term, it's best to turn it off. So just next to the gas compartment here, we've got the water fillers. The bottom one is here for connection if you want to use mains water. The top one, using a key, you can open this here to fill up your water tanks. You've actually got an antenna input should you want to put a satellite TV dish on the ground. And here, this is your 15 amp input. So you can run power through into the Caravan. So down the back end of the Caravan here, we've got the toilet compartment. So it's time to take out the dirty luggage. So you need to make sure that the hatch is closed on the inside. This one here, to remove the tank once it's full, is you lift the yellow tab, drag it out, hold it with 2 hands, hop onto the ground. You need to turn it up, grab the handle, and then take it for a walk to the dump point. Across the back here, you've got either a single spare or a double spare, depending which one you've ordered. We've got another outdoor tap here and a pole box on the rear, where inside you'll have the anti-flap attachments for your awning. Okay, so if you need some more table space outside, pull the 2 latches here. Got a nice little picnic table. There's also a switch here to turn the little light on here for night time. A few more plugs here on the side. We've got some 12-volt outlets. Your mains outlet here, so it's a 10 amp outlet, and an antenna point outlet on this side as well. Around the front end here, this is your outdoor kitchen and pantry. So pantry there with a little light. You've also got your kitchen compartment, which we can pull out like so. So we can put this section here up with your drying rack. You've got your little light, and then your stove with the wind guards. Lift these up with the little finger points, and then take all of your white foamies off. So there's this little black cord here that plugs into the socket, turns your light on. You can put your tap up, and with the actual handle of the tap, if you turn it a little bit on for cold, all the way for hot. So when you go to connect your gas stove, you'll need to pull out the gas bayonet point from the back, pull that down, and then we'll connect it up the front. So connecting the gas hose, you need to push this bayonet fitting out, take out the dust cap, and then just like a light bulb, press it in and turn. Next up, we've got the fridge compartment, which we just open like so, and you've got a handle you can press in the middle and put it all out. You can put a 100-litre fridge in here, no problems. And then you've got 12-volt socket, Anderson plug, and a fan switch. Part of your camping setup is putting your stabilizer legs down. Pull the red handle. We can drop that down to the vertical position. Make sure it's locked in. There's the winder that's in your toolbox. You can put that on here and then wind these down. Now you can do this manually. You can use a drill, but do not use a impact drill to wind these down. So with a double step, it's just a simple operation of pulling this out and locking it in. So now with the door, a part that's super important that people sometimes forget. So as you're closing the door, you need to deadlock it by moving the handle towards the front. Then you can lock it with the key. If you forget that step, you will not be able to lock it. So now you're familiar with the outside of the Caravan, let's have a look on the inside. So the main part of this Caravan here is that it's off-grid compatible. This Core 1 monitor is the brains behind it all. This screen here will tell you how much battery power you've got, so it's 100%, it's fully charged. It is unplugged, so it is running off-grid, and it does tell us how many days and hours we've got left of the current power usage with these lights on, how many volts we've got, and the amount of available amp hours, which is saying 323 amp hours. Then you've also got other information as well, telling you how many amps are coming in from the solar or the DC, and each of the individual batteries as well. But leave it on the screen. That tells you everything you need to know. You shouldn't need to touch it. So this is your main switchboard here under the cupboard. So it's got your main switch turning it off altogether, RCDs, and then all these switches here are all nicely labelled for what you need to do on off, your shower lights, all those other bits and pieces, including your radio. So part of this off-grid setup in the Caravan is that we've got a 3000 watt inverter. That will allow you to run your air conditioning or run your hot plate or your microwave. The important thing is you can't run them all at the same time with your toaster and a kettle because it's not at home, it can only do one at a time. Under the bed here is all your charging parts and bits and pieces here for your batteries. So we've got the mains charger here, the 3000 watt inverter, that's your main input power into your solar controller and your DC-DC controller. So the important thing to remember with your inverter is that you turn it off when it's not in use. Otherwise it will draw a little bit of power and flatten your batteries quicker. So tucked around the side of your kitchen bench here is the controller for your hot water system. You shouldn't need to touch and play with it, but it's showing what temperature it's set for. It will heat your water to 51 degrees. There is an on-off switch here as well, but basically set and forget. So with your toilet, and you've got to do some business here, don't forget you've got to open the flap here on the front. Once you're done what you've got to do, press the blue button to flush, then close the vent again. So that covers all the important parts of your brand new Southern Cross Caravan. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to us. Otherwise, happy camping.